Hello everyone, welcome back to the official page of Read My Course. I am Dr. Shatabdi, and in this session we will be studying about cilia and flagella, both very important organelles of a eukaryotic cell. So let's start. So these are the topic overviews which we will be covering today. First of all, we will learn a little bit about what is a flagella, what are the different parts of a flagella. Then we will learn how we can classify a bacteria depending on the presence or absence of one flagella, two flagella, multiple flagellas, etc. Then we will move on to cilia. We will understand what is a cilia. Then we will read in details about the structural organization of a cilia and a flagella. Next, we will move on to their comparisons with the structural anatomy of a centriole. In the last class, we had studied about centrosomes and centrioles, and we had also learned one fact that this flagella and cilia, the basal bodies of these structures arise basically from the centrosomes. So we will learn how to differentiate the anatomy or the structural microskeleton of both these organelles. Next, we will move on to the functions of a cilia and flagella. So let's start. First of all, a little similarities. What similarities are present between a cilia and flagella? Both are hair-like outgrowths which are present on the outer surface of a cell membrane. So they are basically known as the appendages of a cell, right? And they are covered by plasma membrane, okay? And so basically they are whip-like structures which are extending from the outside of the plasma membrane, and their basic function is that they help in the movement or locomotion of a cell. Besides this, there are secondary functions also, but this is the basic function. So in this picture, we can differentiate a little bit about how a cilia looks under a microscope and how a flagella looks under a microscope. See, the cilia, as we will appreciate, the cilia are small brush-like structures on the whole of the outside of the cell membrane, right? And the flagella may be 1, 2, 3, but fewer in number than the cilia, and they are much longer than the cilia. These are the flagella. So under a microscope, we will be easily able to differentiate between cilias and flagellas, right? So moving to the next slide, we will start off with knowing about a little bit about flagella. Flagellas are very complex, hair-like structures. They are filamentous structures. They are hair-like structures extending through the cell surface, right? So the basic component is a protein which is known as flagellin. So it is easy to remember. So flagella contains a basic protein which is flagellin, right? Embedded in the cell envelope. We know about their basic function, which is motility or movement. And what is their dimension? They can be 5 to 16 micrometer in length and 12 to 30 nanometer in diameter, okay? Now, flagella can be of three types. One is bacterial flagella. Yes, flagella is an organelle which is present in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So, it is present in bacteria, though their structures are different from one another, but they are present in both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. So, we have bacterial flagella, we have archaeal flagella, and we have, of course, the eukaryotic flagella. But remember, cilia is not usually present in prokaryotic type of cells. Okay, now coming to the basic components of a flagella, it has three parts. This thing we had already studied when we had studied about the prokaryotic flagella. They had a hook, they have a filament, and they have a basal body. We will know in details in the coming slides. See, the picture shows you the various parts. See this white part over here, which I am circling right now. This one, yes. This white part, this white pipe-like portion, that is the wider portion, which is usually known as the hook of a flagella. Then we have the long part extending outwards, that is the filament, okay? And we have one portion which is embedded within the cell membrane. That portion is the basal body. This part is the basal body, right? So we have three parts. We have the basal body, we have the filament, and we have the hook. Now, regarding the filament, there is one important difference between a prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell. In case of eukaryotic cells, the filament is covered by a membrane. Okay, it is membrane bound. But in most of the prokaryotic cells, for example in bacteria, when flagella is present, they are usually not covered by any membrane, right? Basal body and hook we have already understood. Now moving to the next slide. So, depending on the presence or absence of one or multiple flagella, a bacterial cell has got different names. They have been classified accordingly. So, we will just try to learn about the names with the help of their pictures. First is Atrachus. Atrachus means they have no flagella, absence of flagella. The letter A, when it is attached, it means like anuclear, that is no nucleus, right? For example, RBCs were anuclear. Similarly, Atrachus means there is no flagella. Next comes Monotrichous. What is Monotrichous? That is when the cell is having a single flagella. Then we have Lopotrichous. What is Lopotrichous? It means a tuft of flagella only at one pole. This is the example of a Lopotrichous cell. Then we have Amphitrichous. Amphitrichous means from both the ends of the cell we have flagellas. This one. Okay. Then we have Peritrichous. That is, the flagella is distributed throughout the entire surface of the cell. That is what? Peritrichous. This is the example of a peritrichous organism, right? So we have Atrichous, we have Monotrichous, we have Lopotrichous, we have Amphitrichous, and we have Peritrichous. Okay. Next, moving to the next slide. What is the basic structural organization of a cilia or a flagella? See, in the last class we had studied centrioles, right? Centrosomes. In the centrosome we had studied that they have a 9+0 arrangement. That is, 9 peripheral microtubules were arranged, right? Here we have a 9+2 arrangement. Listen very carefully, we have a 9+2 arrangement. Now what is this 9+2 arrangement? We have 2 central microtubules. See in this picture, we have 2 central microtubules. So that is the 2, right? And what is this 9? We have 9 doublets of radially arranged peripheral microtubules. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they are in doublets. In case of centrioles, they were in triplets. Triplet arrangement we had seen. Now in case of flagella, we have doublet arrangement, that is 2. Okay. That is one difference between a basic structure of a centriome and a flagella. Okay, so this basic this core structure is known as axoneme. Remember this, the whole cylindrical core structure of a flagella or a cilia, especially a motile cilia. Why I am saying is because in case of a non-motile cilia is of 2 types, motile and non-motile. This is the basic structure, 9+2 is the basic structure of a motile cilia. In case of a non-motile cilia, we have some different structure. We will read in the following slides. So remember that the cylindrical portion, the core portion, is known as the acroneme. Not acronym, axoneme. Axoneme, A-X-O-N-E-M-E, that is the central core portion. Okay, then you will already know that we have a 9+2 arrangement, right? And these centrally arranged microtubules, these central microtubules are again connected by something in between, this interconnecting proteinaceous bridge. It is made up of proteins, yes, and it interconnects the 2 central microtubules. Then we have some radial spokes. I think you can see over here. Just have a look over here. Yes, these are the radial spokes, and this red structure, this red structure, what is this? This is the sheath, central sheath. So this radial spokes connect this central sheath to the peripheral microtubules. These radial spokes, which are extending from the central sheath, they connect them to the peripheral microtubules, which are arranged again in pairs, that is in doublets. Okay, I think you have understood this much. Okay, so with that we move on to the next slide. Now coming to the cilia. Cilia are much shorter in size than the flagellum, okay, and they are much more in number per cell than the flagella, okay. They are basically brush-like or small hair-like structures. Okay, they can be of two types. One is motile, one is non-motile. Now, in case of motile cilia, they are usually present in areas, for example, the respiratory tract, the human respiratory tract, the middle ear. Then they are present in the lungs. And why are they present over there? Because due to the movement of this cilia, what happens is any kind of foreign particles which have entered our airway, our airway passage, or have entered our lungs, they are removed, and that is why we can breathe in the air without any kind of irritation. I hope you understand this much. Okay, so that is the main function of motile cilia. Okay, they are also present along the nasal passages, right? And they serve the same function, that is they purify the air so that it can get inside us without any irritants. Okay, and the non-motile cilia, they are also known as the primary cilia, and they play a very important role in receiving signals from the adjacent cells. That is an important function of the non-motile cells. They have an important role in receiving signals from adjacent cells or nearby fluids. Therefore, they are also known as the antenna of the cell. Okay. For example, in the kidney, the cilia send signals to the cells about the flow of urine, right? Okay, now moving to the next slide. So just remember, this I have already explained. In case of centrioles, which we had studied in the earlier class, we had seen a what type of arrangement? We had seen a 9+0 pattern. That is, there was no central microtubules. But in case of this cilia and flagella, we find a very important 9+2 arrangement. Why 2? Because of the presence of these central microtubules, which is absent in case of centrioles. Also, it is absent in case of non-motile cilia. It is present only in case of motile cilia. Flagella, it is present and only in motile cilia. In case of non-motile cilia, we have again a 9+0 arrangement. So 9+0 arrangement in centrioles and non-motile cilia, 9+2 arrangement in all types of flagella and in motile cilia. Okay, so that just try to remember. If you can't remember, then just jot down this slide, the type I have represented over here, and paste it somewhere in front of you where you can get up in the morning and have a look at it every day. In that way, you will be able to recapitulate it every time you have a look at it, right? Okay. So now difference in the various movement functions. Though the basic function of both the cilia and the flagella are same, that is the help in locomotion, but there are some basic differences in their movements. Also, I would like to tell you one thing, that cilia, besides playing an important role in locomotion, they also have important roles in other functions. For example, respiration. I have said how they help to purify or filter the impurities from the air when we inhale the air, right? They have an important function in excretion. Okay, they, for example, they transduct signals in case of the urine flow. I have already said that. Okay, they help in circulation. But unlike cilia, flagella performs only one function, that is movement. Now there are some basic differences between how a cilia helps in movement and how a flagella helps in movement. See, in case of flagella, what happens is it does a back and forth motion. Now, because of this back and forth motion in this way, in the form of waves, the cell moves forward. A very good example of this is the sperm tails. I think all of us have seen how sperms move inside the female reproductive system, right? So that type of propulsive movement is because of the presence of a very powerful flagella. Okay. Next, in case of cilia, what we see is that their movement is very well coordinated, wavy type of in a wave like fashion. Okay, very well coordinated. That is, there are numerous cilia present on the outer surface of a cell, right? We know this. So, and their movement happens in a coordination, and the whole coordinated movement either helps in repelling the fluid backwards or moving the cell frontwards. So these are the basic differences in the mechanism of movement which is showed by a cilia and a flagella. So that brings us to the basic differences between a cilia and a flagella. I think by this time we have already understood. See, definition, let it be. Next, come to the number. Okay, in cilia we have numerous. Okay, flagella are less in number per cell. I am saying. Then in case of length, we already know cilia are much shorter, 5 to 10 micrometer, and in cases of flagella, they are much longer, right? Cilia occurs throughout the cell surface. Flagella, 1 or 2 is present. Okay. Next comes to the motion. We have already studied that in case of cilia, we have a rotational type of motion, right? Coordinated motion. Whereas in case of flagella, they have independent motion, propulsive type of action. Okay. And another important difference between a flagella and a cilia is that this cilia is found in eukaryotic cells only, whereas this flagella is found in eukaryotic cells, in archaeal cells, as well as in bacterial cells, that is prokaryotic cells. Okay. That brings us to the end of this class. This was a very short class. So just remember one amazing fact before I end, that the human protozoa, that is spermatozoa, that is the sperm cells, are composed of head. It is composed of a tail, and the tail that basically we know is nothing but a flagellum. Okay, that is a flagellum. So that brings us to the end of this class, and in the next class we will go about a very quick revision on the cell, because we have completed the whole topics on structures and functions of cell. So we will do a quick revision and then we will move on to a next topic. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay alert. If you like this video, then do like, subscribe, share and comment in the comment section below, and tell me how I can improve it, how I can communicate with you. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask me. I would try my best to answer them and connect with you. So till then, stay safe guys. Bye.